I totally didn't. Well, I did realize, so I'd be lying if I say I totally didn't realize. But daylight savings makes 7 o'clock different here than there. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, man, it's 8 o'clock Arizona time, so I think I got to change like the description and make sure that it's 8 o'clock p.m. AZT to whenever we decide to finish the show. I got a loaded show though. I do got a loaded show. We're going to have our friend Beetlejuice jump on and talk about some things that are going on, if you will. And then I got a super special guest that I can't wait to chop it up with, one of these spectacular football players in the Valley. So I got to show some love that way, especially since they're they got such a big game ahead of them. Right where they belong, though. Right where they belong. And then, of course, obviously, inside the numbers segment with my guy in Arizona, where he dives inside the numbers and discusses a whole bunch of things as me and him break down games, and we do our own little personal pick'em, of which I am closing the gap, and you'll have to figure out how that happened later on. So a lot of things going on in the Valley, from what I understand. There's going to be a job opening over there at Saguaro. I'm a little bit disappointed, but listen, man, I'm not admin. They have a decision that they have to make. However they come to that conclusion, that's how they come to that conclusion. I think, to be fair, Coach Kelly needed just a little bit more time. The circumstances of which he got the job like last minute, and then this year was really like, I guess, like really his first like full season with the staff that he assembled and things like that. And he still had some players that jumped ship, and it is what it is. Players want to bounce, they want to bounce. And I can't parent them or tell them how to do it. Occasionally players will reach out, hey Chili, we want to bounce. And I can only give them my professional opinion on, stay or go. But like, you got to keep in mind the grass is not always greener. And that's like, unfortunately, like that's a thing. Like kids want to leave because they feel like the grass is greener somewhere else, and it's not. The grass is going to be green wherever you water it. The Suns, if you guys listened to Dropping Dimes yesterday, my guys Cam Cox and Adam Beadle, super excited because the Suns, they're so good right now, hanging out in mediocrity at 500. So, I'm hyped that they're hyped. If they're happy, I'm happy for them being happy. Knicks fan here. So, Knicks going to go to the finals, and it's no big deal. Jalen Brunson's an absolute monster and an MVP candidate. And, Devin Booker's really cool. I like Booker. I also like Dylan Brooks. So I am showing as much support as I can. Listen, the crew that drafted DeAndre Ayton is out and gone and whatever. And like, it's never coming back. And so I'm super grateful for that. They should have taken Luka, but that's neither here nor there. The Cardinals are cardinaling. And they're just cardinaling. And this is about, we're in the part of the program. Can you be surprised? Can you? Like, really? We had some homecomings, Ricky Pearsall and Chase Lucas and all those guys, Brock Purdy, in case y'all living under a rock and don't realize Brock Purdy got a street named after him. Listen, like, the Cardinals are going to continue to struggle. I don't think that firing Gannon or Monty is a solution. So that's my personal opinion. ASU, ranked in the CFP. My guy Beetlejuice, I said it twice now. He's going to help me break that down. But I did say that I'd got a super special guest, and I got to bring him on. I got to bring him on first. Super talented wide receiver, because I always try to catch the super talented wide receivers as much as possible because no other defensive backs seem to be able to do the job. So I am going to be bringing on my guy, Talon Arnett, straight from Mountain View. Y'all know the deal. Hang out with us for about like 20 seconds. Talon Arnett coming right back with your boy Chili. I'll see you in a second. First thing we need to do is we need to tell my guy BJ Media to get some of these Mountain View highlights right, and because my man Talon Arnett is a touchdown waiting to happen because of that
Yes, sir.
connection with Brady Goodman. Talon, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. You guys are right where you're supposed to be. Last year, I got to catch you guys taking care of business in that Battle of Brown Road, and I know that you guys all wanted to be in that open division playoff bracket, in that open division playoffs. Now you guys are there
Sir.
officially. What's the feeling like? Is it like, hey, we're where we're supposed to be?
Yeah, it's exactly where we're supposed to be. I think last year too, we should have been there, and this is the year to do it. So yeah, um, yeah, for sure.
Hey, what makes this Mountain View team so special? Obviously, there's you and there's Brady and Coach Litton got you guys going the right way. You guys get a new coach, a new voice, and stuff like that last year. What makes this team so special this year?
Um, you know, all these guys we've been playing with each other for so long, and I think that bond that we have, grown up together. We're all friends, and I think that's the most special thing.
Hey, talk to me a little bit about that because I kind of just was going over like kids wanting to transfer and stuff like that out of schools into other schools. It seems like that doesn't really go down over there at Mountain View. Like you guys grow up together, play ball together. You guys went to the same
Yeah.
elementary schools, and you guys just kind of harbor. Like, what's the mindset? Is there ever anybody like in at the lunch table saying like, man, dude, I wish I could go somewhere else because I think I could get a better opportunity? How do you guys keep that community?
Nah, we don't really talk about it. When Coach Litton came in, there was kind of conversations about it a little bit, but we just told each other we just got to stay together and we just got to stick it through. It all worked out. So yeah,
Hey, Coach Litton is an absolute offensive mastermind. He's one of
yeah, he
Trenton
is.
Bourget's favorite guys, a 7-on-7 guy. You, what was your take when you found out it was going to be Litton? I know that you got love for Jermaine, but what was your take when you
Yeah.
found out it was going to be Litton? Were you just like, oh man, it's going to be a party in the end zone for me? I can't wait.
I honestly didn't even know really who he was and stuff and who he came in, but we did an interview with him, and when he talked to us, I kind of just knew that he was gonna be the guy that was gonna lead us to do some good things. So yeah.
Did you have any idea that like you and Brady were gonna absolutely go crazy for these 2 years?
Um, I didn't think we were gonna, uh, do what we did last year and this year and stuff, but I definitely knew that we were gonna do some things. Yeah.
Hey, how different is it for you when when you've been lining up this year? Like, do you realize how much more attention you're getting from defenses? Do you realize that DCs are game planning for you?
Yeah, I can definitely tell from the difference between this year and last year for sure. So,
Hey, the future over there. You're bringing up young guys too over there. You're mentoring. Who are some of the
yeah.
guys that we should be looking out for?
There's a freshman, Bowen Jermaine, little brother of Max Jermaine, our tight end. He's a pretty good player, so shout out to him. I think he'll be a really good player. Brady Goodman, his little brother, I think he plays tight end or receiver. I think he's going to be a good player, and I think there's some kids in the feeder teams coming up. I think they're all going to be some good players. So yeah,
Hey, everybody in the city, everybody in the state, they know exactly who Talon Arnett is. They know exactly what you're capable of. The other day on Twitter, Coach Carter, defensive backs coach over there at Centennial, brought your name up as somebody that's an absolute nightmare to deal with. Were you caught off guard? Were you surprised? What was your reaction when you saw that thing pop up on Twitter?
yeah. I didn't even when I saw that, I was surprised, and you know. It honestly made me feel pretty good when he said that, those things that a coach would say something about me like that. So, yeah.
Hey, who are some of the guys that you've watched this year competitively? Some of the guys from the other team. Who are some guys that gave you that work? Who are some DBs that you were like, man, that kid's good? Or who are some guys that you saw, maybe they're wide receivers or whatever, that you were like, man, that kid can play?
On the Centennial side,
Any game really? Like, who stood out to you in a variety of games?
um, some of the Liberty DBs, watching them. Obviously, they're probably one of the best defenses in the league or in the high school, and Centennial Basha. Just watching those guys. Kind of seeing how they're playing guys. I've been watching some of the top receivers, kind of seeing what they're doing. So yeah.
Hey, huge matchup this week for you guys. You guys get Hamilton. How are you guys approaching that? Obviously, everybody knows about the Roy Oliver show, but you're a pretty good
Yeah.
receiver in your own right. So, how are you guys preparing for this?
Just going in to win, we got a good game plan going in, trusting Coach Lynn and our defense, and yeah, I think we're gonna have a good game. So,
All right, man. Hey, I got to finish this up by asking. I try to talk to the kids a little bit about the academic stuff. I need to know, what is your favorite class, or who's your favorite teacher? Who's made an impact on you in the academics department?
um, I don't know. I've always liked math, so
Yeah.
I think just keep my grades up always in all my classes. But yeah, I would say
Okay.
math's one
I,
of my biggest things.
Yeah, I can tell with the way you're adding all these touchdowns up. You're somewhere north of 40. So
Yeah.
hey, fully. Hey, I'm not cheering for nobody, but I would like to see my man Talon get closer to 50. That means that we need a couple more games here. Hey, Talon, I appreciate you hanging out. And man, this Hamilton Mountain View matchup is so big. Like, I really, really am thinking about going to that game. So hopefully I can see you out there, because I need to see you guys work this year. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I'm a man. I'll catch you down the line.
Yeah.
And just like that, Beetlejuice appears. Man, hey, it's crazy times. I know. Were you at Sundowns practice today?
No, I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Okay. Hopefully, if the plane lands in time, then I'll see you like right around like 10:30 to catch the last session that they got going on. Yeah, there's for anybody that wants to get opinions on like the Open and stuff like that, Beatles' opinion, my opinion, Cam Cox's opinion, check into the Dropping Dimes show that we did last night, 12 Plus app. And it's basically if Cam loaded up. We're always waiting on Cam. So there's that. But there's a lot going on for our Sun Devil faithful. One thing first before, listen, there's good news and there's bad news, right? So the good news is the Sun Devils find themselves ranked in the CFP rankings, right? They're number 25. They checked it at the bottom, number 25, right? But you gotta crawl before you walk, so that's okay. And this is
I also want to say I also want to air this grievance real quickly. For anybody that still believes that the ACC is bigger than the Big 12, you are wrong. There are 3 Big 12 teams in the top 12. There are 5 total Big 12 teams in the CFP rankings, and I think Miami is 13. So I hope we can put that to rest now. That the ACC is not better than the Big 12. Thank you, and goodbye.
Okay. All right. I like that. Hey, listen, since we're talking about it, I'm kind of curious. What is it going to take for ASU to get into first things first? What is it going to take for them to get into this Big 12 championship game? Because there's a lot going on at the top of the Big 12 right now, and there's a lot of possible scenarios. What are a couple hopefuls that ASU fans need?
There are a lot of scenarios, and to be honest, if I told you how it all happened and how it went down, I wouldn't be telling the truth, because I genuinely have no clue how this is all going to shape up. But what I can't say is this: I think one thing. I think here's the Texas Tech is going to be in the Big 12 championship. I think that's the guarantee. I think they've solidified their spot with the schedule that they have left. I think that's guaranteed. I think the other thing that needs to happen is that Cincinnati needs to beat BYU either this week, or BYU needs to drop at least one more game, except I don't think they're going to lose to UCF. So I think Cincinnati is that game where BYU would need to lose. That would put BYU, Utah, Houston, Cincinnati, if all these teams won, including Arizona State at 5-2, or at 6-2, assuming ASU beats Colorado this weekend. So then things just kind of get dicey in terms of head to head and common opponents, and it's this whole. It really just is a headache. But I think this is what makes the Big 12 so exciting. Is similar to last year. We didn't truly know who was going to play in the Big 12 championship until after the last weekend of games. If Arizona State didn't beat Arizona, they probably wouldn't have been in the Big 12 championship, even though the odds kind of seemed like that was going to happen regardless. Maybe, it's just, I love that this is kind of what college football has become, where it literally is down to the last game on your schedule. I think that's the way it looks. I think Big Ten is different. I think we're going to see a really fun Big Ten championship game. SEC, I think that's the way it's going to play out. I think these teams are going to be, going down to the last games. So I'm excited about the way it's kind of all going down.
All right. So from what I understand, six-way tie benefits ASU. Six-way tie means that Arizona State gets into the Big 12.
ASU winning out. I think the easiest way to look at it is ASU winning out and a BYU loss would put ASU in the Big 12 championship game.
Man, okay. So we do need a little, but we do need a little bit of help. A little bit of help would be nice.
Yeah.
God shining down on us on Saturday would be cool. So and listen. There's good, which I like to start off with the good. Unfortunately, I like to start off with the good. And there's always some bad news. Listen, a story broke out earlier today, like an epidemic or like a pandemic, if you will. Like, it was absolutely insane and unfortunate. But rumors swirl, rumors are created, and this story was broken earlier regarding quarterback Sam Leavitt. No, he is not coming back healthy. That would actually be good news. The story that broke was that he might be entertaining some other opportunities. I know that people are talking about things like, whether or not he's been at the sidelines or games or whatever. This situation, Beetle, what are your actual thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, I've had, to be honest, my thoughts have kind of changed throughout the day. Just kind of the more and more I read into the situation, the more I kind of reflect on it and what's going on. But my immediate
hold on. Are we going into a dark place? Are we about to go into a dark place?
A dark place. Define a dark place.
A dark place where Sun Devil fans are going to be upset and have their feelings hurt.
No,
I just want to prepare the audience. Okay, all right. Continue.
My immediate thought was that this report in the first place was inaccurate and just didn't seem like very true. Which I only thought for a short amount of time, because the more I looked into it, the more I thought about it, the more it seems sort of, realistic, because, I forget who was talking about it. It might've been Gambo who was talking about it. I heard it. But I think with the current day and age in college football, like, how could you not entertain your options? How could you not entertain the fact that you could go somewhere that is winning at a higher level and make more money? Yeah, there's the text message from Sam Leavitt's brother Dallin to Pete Nakos at On3, kind of just, not necessarily denying the report, but just saying that, Sam hasn't made up his mind. I think doubtful is a strong word to say that Sam Leavitt is doubtful to return to Arizona State. I think it's more of just kind of like sort of like a 50-50, which is less doubtful, I would say. There's a higher chance that he does return to Arizona State.
Agreed.
But I would say that, I just, back to the point, like, how could you not sort of entertain the option that you could make more money somewhere, you could win at a higher level? So there's a couple different ways I look at this situation. One is that Sam is actually considering leaving because he wants to win at a higher level and wants to get paid more, which I think for both of those reasons to be true is the most unlikely, just based on how, you've kind of seen Sam throughout the years in his time as ASU and the conversations he's had with the media and what, the way Kenny's talked about him and his teammates. And I think, the second scenario is that this isn't necessarily about Sam leaving ASU. It's about being paid more, which I think is possible for ASU to keep Sam or I should say, I think he could be using this as leverage, right? I think that's something you got to look at. That
Possibly.
could be something. But I think you also have to, and this might be the part where ASU fans don't like it necessarily, is you have to remember the part that, ASU has to be able to afford Sam too. And it gets to a point where if having Sam on your roster is just too much for you to handle, like let's say I personally believe, and this is just again not anything I've read or anybody's told me, this is purely my opinion. I believe Sam could go somewhere and probably make somewhere between $8 and $13 million, right?
Ooh.
We know he's already getting paid multi-million dollars. I think it's somewhere around $3 million is what he's getting paid right now. I think he could double that, potentially even triple that, right?
I think you could definitely double. I'm with you on the double, the triple.
So
Woo.
I think it's gonna maybe be hard for ASU to kind of match the offer that some of these other schools are making. I know the Athletic reported that Texas Tech and Miami were two of the schools that could possibly be a landing zone. I don't necessarily know how you can kind of gauge that stuff so early, since coaches aren't technically allowed to recruit those kind of players. I'm sure agents talk, and it is what it is. Just that's the world. I'm sure that's a whole nother complicated world. My other thought is that Kenny has generated a lot of NIL talk over the last 2 weeks, specifically about just gauging the funds to be to get the players on the roster and to bring in championship level guys. But again, all just kind of my thoughts. Is that a lot of this has kind of been, how can ASU bring in maybe a donor, one big donor in particular, to just try to pay for Sam and keep Sam at ASU.
Do you have a name?
What?
Do you have like a name? Do you have like a company, a locally based company?
No, like this.
Not like you're thinking of like Waste Management or like somebody that does something huge already in the Valley, like Flight Club. I don't know. Just
no. I just this kind of one of my thoughts is that maybe there could be one big donor in particular that could basically pay for Sam Leavitt to be at ASU. Granted, I don't know how all that works with the salary cap and all that, but to that point, with the salary cap, maybe it doesn't exactly make sense for ASU to pay one player $8 to $10 million and rather pay, 5 or 6 players $1 or $2 million that are, are capable of getting you to a Big 12 championship or back to the college football playoff. So at that point, it all just comes around to, the fact that evaluating talent is so much more important than it ever has been nowadays, just because you never know when you're going to kind of find that diamond in the rough guy. Like I could think of so many guys on ASU's roster right now that are, in a way, diamond in the rough guys. You got a guy like Keyshawn Elliott, Abney, Javen Robinson, Justin Watley, I think is a big one. He's been playing out of his mind the last couple of weeks. Max Ahanachor, even Jordan Tyson, right? Look at the situation Jordan Tyson came from at Colorado. And he comes to ASU basically a nobody and makes a name for himself, right?
I wouldn't say a nobody. I wouldn't say a nobody.
But people weren't talking about Jordan Tyson then like they are now.
He okay. All those names that you brought up, and I say this with all the respect in the world, because I love all those guys and what they've done for the program and for Kenny and for the coaches there. One thing I will say is a lot of those guys that you brought up, obviously casted off by their former teams and brought in, and we kind of honestly nobody knew. Like I had evaluated Sam over at Elite 11. I thought that he was great, and I thought that he was going to be a fit over there at Michigan State and stuff. And things didn't work out for whatever reason. They get a new coach. That coach, they have a history, and now Sam pops up over here at ASU. Jordan Tyson, things don't work out like you mentioned at Colorado. Cam Scatterbo looking for an opportunity, a bigger opportunity than Sac State, and all these guys just the way that they put this together. Like, man, you got to love this. I don't mean to cut you off because
you're fine.
I think I like where you're going. I will say this. I am in agreement with you. You said that you think that it's more likely that Sam stays and goes, and I think that you're right. One of those things is if all things were equal, and we all know that they're not, but if all things were equal, I think Sam opts to stay at Arizona State regardless. But the reality is that all things aren't equal. I think at the end of the day, though, Sam's going to make a decision that best represents who he is and what exactly he's looking for. And I think that past his own personal NIL and his own situations, I think he's looking for the situations surrounding him, like who's going to be able to fulfill the level of talent around him, offensive lineman and depth of who's going to be able to bring in weapons at receiver, not just coaching these guys up, but proven products that are ready to go,
right.
to enhance his NFL value.
If ASU pays Sam Levitt all this, double-digit $1 million money, they won't be able to put the guys around him, right? So that's kind of the things you have to look at. And this is probably the part that ASU fans aren't really going to like, but I think you kind of have to look at how much maybe we expected Sam to play a little bit better than he did during the time in which he was healthy and playing. Granted, I don't know what portion of the season he was and wasn't 100%. But I think something's got to be said about the fact that you got to look and see what Jeff Sims has done the last 2 games, being able to get the ball to so many people that he has been, and the way he's done things himself. And when Sam was in there, the backfield, there was one guy that was catching passes consistently, and the only guy who was scoring touchdowns, and that was Jordan Tyson. So I know the connection there is strong, but in able to have a successful offense, you have to be able to move the ball around. And that's kind of been the key as to why Jeff Sims has fit in this system and why ASU has adjusted, part of its, offensive scheme to fitting Jeff Sims, is because he has efficiently been able to move the ball around to a bunch of different guys and do what he can. And Jeff is also, in my opinion, a little less, I guess you could say, fragile than Sam. Like I see Jeff taking some bigger hits that I think would Sam would feel a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't agree completely, but I'm gonna let her ride for now. I see. I get what you're saying. I don't know if I agree completely though. In fairness to Sam and how tough he actually is.
No, he's a tough kid. 100% a tough kid.
Sure.
And I'm not denying how tough he is.
And I know you're not disputing that. I get what you're saying. But like I said, in fairness to Sam and the shots that he has taken, survived, came back from, and moved forward.
No, you're right.
You're right. It's a little bit different, but no, man. I'm impressed with some of the research that you've done, and if Sam does leave, you think ASU jumps in the portal to grab a big name guy, or you think it's Fetty time?
Here was my big original thought before Kenny Dillingham said that he's not leaving ASU, which, first of all, I can't believe that people are still talking about Kenny Dillingham potentially leaving ASU after the comments he said last week and the other stuff that came out about him staying the week before. Like, how we're just still denying that, I don't understand. But my big original thought was, if Kenny leaves, Sam leaves. I think those two are a package deal. And I think based on, what Sam's family has said, based on the way, what Sam has said, the things he's done, the all the adversity he's been through at this university, I find it hard to believe that, he would just kind of bail on one more year to go somewhere else and make a little bit more money, instead of coming back to a school where he's already kind of built so much, to be able to maybe help sustain that success and get some other guys around him. Now, to the other part of your question, in terms of, what could ASU do in this situation, I think Jake Fetty, obviously a name to watch out for. I think, since August, we've been kind of talking about, the reality on if Sam, that's the other thing too. Like, I think people got to realize, like, we since August, the conversation has been, if Sam were to have had the Heisman year, we thought maybe he would and put up all these crazy numbers and maybe win the Heisman and then leave to go to the NFL draft. Like, we all thought that was a genuine expectation. So how much is the expectation that Sam was going to leave possibly at the beginning of the year, if he had this crazy year, changed from to now? And how is it our expectation that ASU's coaching staff maybe hasn't already been planning for that possibly to be a scenario since the summer, right?
Hey,
So it's a good point. It's something I think it's worth thinking about. But in terms of some guys that could maybe come in and give ASU some help with Jeff's graduating, I think there's a couple former Arizona guys that you got to look at. I think Nico Markiel is one of them. I know he was recruited by the old staff at ASU before committing to West Virginia. Obviously, he's in the portal now. There's 2 guys that are currently enrolled at schools that I have no idea whether or not they have intentions of entering the transfer portal, but I just can't stop thinking about, the possibility of them maybe entertaining the option. And one of them is Luke Moga over at Oregon. He's sitting behind Dante Moore right now. And the other one is Mikey Keene. Mikey Keene has yet to use his redshirt year, and he's at Michigan under Bryce Underwood right now. Would it be a engaging opportunity for Mikey Keene to say this is his redshirt year, enter the transfer portal, come to Arizona State, and get to start, one last season in his hometown with a guy he played with at Fresno State with Jalen Moss, and some other wide receivers as well that are probably going to step up for ASU next season, and maybe some of the other guys ASU can bring in through the portal. So I think it's exciting, something to look at. And in a world of dreams, I think for ASU, Jedd Fisch leaves Washington and Damon Williams comes to Arizona State. But I think that's the longest shot of them all, not even realistic. But yeah,
I don't know if that's. I want to say that that's not realistic. I mean, I'm hearing stories about Fisch. His family like hating Seattle, and they hate Seattle so much that they moved to Tucson, the armpit of freaking Arizona. So
why would you leave Seattle and go to Tucson? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, probably to pack up the rest of their stuff and start sending it to start potting it to Florida. Hey, listen. There's one thing that I'm gonna say regarding Coach Dillingham and ASU and some of the long-term stuff. I was one of the first ones, maybe the first one to suggest anything regarding Dillingham and ASU publicly on the app. So if something were to go down, and Dillingham were to leave ASU or that was coming up, I would definitely, and I promise that I would absolutely tweet something that you would find. But this was literally the tweet that I put out there, 11/13/22, and you can go find all the message boards that tried to throw spaghetti on the wall to see what was going to stick, and they were trying to say that this random offensive coordinator from Texas or this random Coastal Carolina coach was going to come to Arizona State. I let everybody know exactly what I was hearing and what would happen if Oregon's OC at the time, Kenny Dillingham, is the next coach at ASU. He'll do everything possible to keep the current interim, Sean Aguano, on his staff. What happened? Sean Aguano remained on the staff. I'm guessing he'd bring mentors, Coach Regal and Coach Amy, and that happened. Listen, I'm not here to lie to the public. It is what it is.
Hey, you know what?
If Coach Dillingham is going to leave, I promise you, I'm going to put something out there that's going to be a little cryptic with respect to Dillingham, and because he's been a friend of the program and jumped on twice, and I'm grateful. Actually, 3 times, I think. But whatever, I'm so grateful.
Also, shout out Jack Nudo. How about drawing up that 2-point conversion try on Saturday? Wasn't that pretty neat?
I like
so
that.
it's cool to see, and that's another Arizona guy. Obviously, Jason Mons too came in, not too long after he led Saguaro to a open Division State championship. Another
state championship appearance, like the many. Listen, real quick, since you just brought up Saguaro, we weren't going to talk about this. I'm super disappointed in the DK situation. Coach Kelly, I felt like deserved a little bit more time. But on that note, since they are now looking for a new coach, not that I ever wanted Kelly replaced, if I am admin over there, I am scrounging up every last dollar that I can find, and I am going after one Cannon Siegel, who is currently on the ASU coaching staff, and I am throwing the bag at the former Saguaro Sabercat, who knows everything about the culture and what Saguaro is supposed to be like. So there's that.
I think Cannon would be an awesome hire for Saguaro. I'd love to see him there. There are a couple.
Since you guys
of
are like
other,
the same age.
No,
No, he's a little older than you.
He's like
He's like
3 years older than me.
Yeah,
I think
he's a little
What was
older
the
than you. Yeah.
senior year. So 21.
22.
Okay, so he's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's a little older than you.
Yeah,
he's a little older than you. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys hang out in the same like social circles. I'm sure, kind of, give or take. There's
I don't know.
less than 7 degrees of separation. I guarantee it. You know,
I mean,
somebody,
we're on the same campus, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, you know, whatever. I'm sure it's a news story that we would love to break. Former Sabercat, Cannon Siegel takes over.
I think there are a couple of other names though that stick out to me.
I'm sure. Listen, with the job that the Carter brothers did over at Maryvale, I'm pretty sure that their name is going to be brought up in the conversation. I think that they want to stay there because of what they got going on there right now. They got a lot coming back, and I think they really want to show what all that talent is really capable of. I'm sure that there's 2 names. I'll let you go ahead. 2 names. Since I brought up 2-ish names, I'll let you bring up 2-ish names.
Okay. I'm gonna go Garmin over there, OC at Hamilton.
Ooh.
I think he's one to watch out for. I think
to pick them apart.
I think he finally deserves a shot as a head coach here in the state, and after what he's done offensively.
At multiple programs, not just Hamilton.
Multiple programs.
Yeah.
Another guy I would look out for, and only because I feel that he doesn't, now that his son's gone, he doesn't really have any ties to the school, and that's Chris Dixon at Cactus Shadows.
Ooh. Sheesh. Dang, now you're trying to pluck Coach Dixon from Cactus Shadows. And I know that you and I know that you guys are like BFF and stuff. So I know you and Donovan are like BFFs because I was with you at Maryvale when he FaceTimed you.
He didn't know what the score was. I was like,
I'm sure that that's part of it, but whatever. I know you guys are like buddy, and when he's up at NAU, like you're gonna be up at like a bunch of games, supporting, and with the sideline pass, with the sideline player pass that like makes you like officially up.
Hey, you know what? I got to shout out one other player too, real quick. One other player has been absolutely killing it. He just finished up the season at the JUCO level. It's my guy Timothy Tynan. Former Basha kicker. He absolutely killed it at Riverside Community College this year. I think he had like the most made field goals in California at the JUCO level.
Hey, I know that that's your guy, but was it hard for you to watch him do Hamilton bad that one year? Like, who was that?
Tim is a guy I consider to be like one of my best friends in the entire world.
Yeah.
So let's just say
for you?
let's just say we had a conversation after that game.
Oh man,
I love his parents though. I love his parents to death. I love him.
Hey, listen, I love, and I'm not trying to cost anybody their job or whatever, but I would love to see him get an opportunity to kick field goals in the home state. I will say that he's definitely a guy that he's definitely a special teams kicker type that you could be creative with. He can also punt too. So like,
hey, if you're not careful, he might just take it and run. To be honest,
that's what I'm saying. Like you can be so creative with him. All right, but yeah, Timothy Tynan. I loved watching him work. I'm not gonna say I loved watching him do Hamilton bad, but I did enjoy you squirming a little bit when I brought that up. So I thought that was cool. I saw the beads of sweat like starting to form on your head.
Oh man.
Oh man. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, Beetle, I'm gonna let you get up out of here because I know you got some stuff to do. But we covered some open division stuff on last night's show, Dropping Dimes with Cam Cox. Your Suns are mediocre, and I know you're super
They're
excited
playing in
about
like
that.
20 minutes.
And you know, I hope in 2.5 hours, I'm not tagging you in the other team's tweet.
Hey, do you know what the Knicks record is right now?
Oh, calm down. Listen.
Hey, do you know what the Knicks record is right now?
Listen. First off, before we start getting to the Knicks record and any issues regarding the Knicks, I don't want to hear that that Anthony Towns, that Karl Anthony Towns is on his way out or whatever. Listen,
On his way to Phoenix? Yeah. On his way
that-
to Phoenix. 'Cause
that's-
Phoenix needs a big,
that's-
right? And
that's
him
not
and
good.
Devin
Yeah, we'll
Booker are
take
best
Devin
friends.
Booker.
No,
We'll
they're
take
best
Devin Booker.
friends.
No.
No.
We got to keep
no.
them separate. We got to keep them separate.
No.
You don't want. Listen, the Suns, and I know it's different.
You talking all this? You talking all this like Booker's gonna come to
Suns-
New York and we're gonna
The
get
Suns
cat like
already.
that.
Listen, hold on. The Suns already tried pairing Devin Booker up with one of his best friends in Tyler Ulis a long time ago, and that failed miserably.
Yeah, because the rest of the team was booty.
Yeah, and that was
And you know
again.
it. You know it.
That-
If
that
that
was-
team would have been better, they may have actually done a lot of good.
There was no chance. Listen, the Knicks are going to be fine. The Knicks are going to be fine. They're not struggling in mediocrity.
But they're 8-6,
for
right?
sure.
And the Suns are 8-5. Isn't that like the same
No,
thing?
the Knicks are 8-5. The Knicks are 8.
I said the Knicks are 8-6. And the Suns are 8-5, which is basically the same thing.
The Knicks are 8
And-
5
and
in the East.
Guess what? The Knicks have a better spot in the East because the East is weak.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the Pelicans and the Kings and the Mavericks are super scary. I mean, you know, I know that those teams got
Super
everybody
flag, man.
shaking. Yeah, it's going to take them 3 years to turn that thing around, and yeah, it's going to take them like 3 years. Anyways, but all right, listen, your Suns are finally lukewarm, and I know that you're super excited about it. I'm gonna let you have this moment. But you're gonna have this moment on the next thing that you do because Beetlejuice.
Extraordinary drama, hot body for nothing. What's up? Hot she give me not neck up between.
And now for everybody's favorite segment, we do got my guy Gridiron with the Inside the Numbers segment. And
That's right.
Gridiron, you also happen to be the handsomest man in Arizona high school sports media. Shout out to our guy Eric Newman, who reminds me of that through text and a variety of things. He loved your Pascal shirt.
Yeah,
you
in the
are.
last week. Yeah.
So he was super hyped. Listen, I love my guy Beetle. But
Suns
I think
5-1 last 6 games.
oh my god, we're acting like they weren't trash
We're gonna
before
win
that.
30.
They haven't even got to 30.
They're almost a third of the way there.
Oh my gosh, they're okay. How long? Listen, this seems to win.
They would
30
have to
games
go
in.
20. They would have to go 22-46 the rest of the way to win 30. That could happen, but that's what they'd have to do. They would have to play less than 333 ball the rest of the season.
And that is likely to happen. As hard as they do play, as fun as they are to watch, they're going to be a fun team to watch suffer with 30 wins. So, anyways, a team teams that aren't suffering and struggling this year. A couple of these teams that we're going to talk about here because we're going to break down a couple games. And by the way,
Here.
and by the way, I can't wait for our halftime segment when we get to talk about how I closed the gap on our pick'em. So there is that. But first up, we are going to talk about one of these games that we don't usually dive into, but Gridiron feeling super duper like you wanted to get into some lower level stuff. And I don't want to say charitable because you like talking about all these schools. So,
There we are. Look at that.
Yeah. Hey,
A
ALA West.
Northwest Valley action there in Northwest Arizona.
And Mojave, ALA West Foothills was an absolute monster last year. They made it all the way to the championship, if I'm not mistaken. Brian Reagan, the head coach over there, quarterback Carlos Serrano, running back Kenyon Rosenthal doing a thing this year. Wide receiver Carson Callister is an absolute stud. A pair of linebackers, Hunter Cotton and Matthew Lee, taking care of business, making sure that they get the quarterbacks, get the running backs behind the line of scrimmage. Defensive back Isaac Morales, patrolling that secondary, is an absolute problem for opposing quarterbacks. On the flip side, we got Mojave taking care of it. I love this Mojave logo, by the way. I think that thing is spectacular. Head coach Rudy.
Shades of the Phoenix Open logo there.
Yeah, I like it, man. I need a Mojave shirt. Rudy Olvera, the head coach over there, and he's got a quarterback, Joe Yoni, wide receiver athlete, Pedro Morentes, who's an absolute nightmare to deal with both sides of the ball. Wide receiver Nathaniel Villarreal, defensive lineman over there, Adrian Loya, and a pair of linebackers, Deegan Perry and Noah Anaya. Talk to me a little bit about these guys. Go ahead, break down the numbers on these two teams in this huge matchup.
Yep, we've got 4A quarterfinal, ALA West Foothills. The Guardians are 8-4. They will be at Mojave. The Thunderbirds are 9-2. This is the 12 seed at the 4 seed. Friday night, 7 p.m. It's in Bullhead City at the Anderson Auto Group Fieldhouse, which is just west of the 95 near the Nevada border, about 5 miles from Laughlin. Last year, ALA West Foothills did play for the 3A championship. They lost to Push Ridge. Last week, ALA West Foothills defeated Combs 34-14. Mojave defeated Northwest Christian 42-34. The only meeting between the teams happened in 2023 in the regular season. Mojave won that one 28-20. ALA West Foothills on a 4-game win streak. The head coach is Brian Razan, his first year. Took over kind of late. It was during the summer when he got elevated to the head coach. Quarterback Carlos Serrano is just a freshman. 1,037 yards, 10 touchdown passes. Running back Kenyon Rosenthal is a junior. 1,714 rush yards, 21 total TDs. Wide receiver Carson Callister is a senior. 22 catches, 397 yards, 6 total TDs. Over in defense, Hunter Cotton's a senior linebacker, 135 tackles to lead the team, 33 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. And linebacker Titan Ashton, another senior, 88 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, and 6.5 sacks. And defensive back Isaac Morales is a senior with 43 tackles and 7 interceptions. For Mojave, they have a 6-game win streak, and they are 5-1 at home. Head coach Rudy Olvera is in his 10th season with the Thunderbirds. The quarterback is Joe Yoni, a senior, 2,488 passing yards, 32 TDs, also rushed for 1,000 yards this season with 12 touchdowns, and he's picked off 7 passes on defense. Running back linebacker Deegan Perry is a senior, 413 yards rushing, 9 total touchdowns. One of those touchdowns came on an interception return, where he also has 143 tackles to lead Mojave. Wide receiver Pedro Morentes is a senior, 56 catches for 821 yards, 12 total touchdowns. 2 of those TDs have come on interception returns. And like Yoni, he has 7 interceptions on defense. And defensive end Adrian Loya is a senior with 51 tackles and 6 sacks.
Man, this is going to be a heck of a game. I think that first off, there was a typo on the head coach for ALA West Foothills, so I apologize. Our guy K Visuals does a great job, but I know that sometimes the keyboards are the keyboards.
I can't see him, but
he put Reagan. Reagan. And so I wanted to apologize because that is unfortunate, but also not his fault, because it is very, very possible that when I sent off all the information, it could have been me that the computer, the AI took over and had them under their own. Anyways, coach does a great job over there. I like the direction of this ALA West Foothills program. I think that Mojave is going to be solid. But I am going to let you pick first.
I think there's a big advantage at quarterback with Yoni, who also plays defense, as we mentioned, and that's a tough place to play up there. You know, it's granted ALA West Foothills is in Waddell, so it's in the Northwest Valley, so they're already on the way there, as opposed to a team out in Santan or Queen Creek or something like that. But I like Mojave in this one, 34-16.
Ooh, okay. I got to tell you, man. I really like the research that I did on this ALA West Foothills team. I really do like what they got going on. I know the quarterback's young, but I think that he's ready for the moment. I like this running back a lot.
Yeah, huge season.
Yeah, defensively, and listen, the reality is I think in the playoffs, you need a tough ground game, especially at these lower levels. You just need a tough ground game. And defensively, I think these guys are solid, well coached, well put together. Let me, man, I kind of wanted to take Mojave, but I'm taking ALA West Foothills in this. I really got to think about this just a little bit. So put that in pencil for now. ALA West Foothills. Give me ALA West Foothills because I think that behind Rosenthal, I think they can take care of business and get the job done, even though they're traveling.
Probably need to get the early lead then, so that they can, kind of play downhill football with them.
Yes, that is true. I'll take ALA West Foothills. Man, that's such a tough. There've been a couple tough ones that you picked out. Like typically, like I don't struggle this bad, but these last few weeks, you've really had me on the ropes of some of these pick'ems, man. Sheesh.
Well, I mean, we knew this 4A bracket was going to be, a crazy one just with the way that the season's gone this year, and we had Coconino advancing. And the other one, they pulled off their first road playoff win in over 40 years, defeating Bradshaw Mountain last week, and they did it handily, 31-14. They're going to go out to Gila Ridge as one of the other quarterfinals in the 4A. We also have Arcadia and Snowflake still alive. Arcadia will be hosting Marcos Deniza, and Snowflake will be hosting the defending champions, Micah Mountain.
Oh man, I just feel like I'm gonna stay with my pick. For now, I'm gonna stay with my pick. I think that I think ALA West Foothills can take care of
Northwest
business.
Christian gave Mojave a game. It was a one-score game.
But Mojave beat Northwest Christian.
Well, they did. They beat him last week, but they only beat him by 8 points.
This is gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a good game. You said 34-16. Okay, I'm gonna stay with ALA West Foothills for now.
All right.
Put it in pencil though. Put it in pencil. Put it in pencil for now. All right. Now we are at the special part of our segment where I'm going to allow you to bring up the manual scoreboard as things have changed.
Getting tighter. It's getting tighter.
As things have changed.
Really has closed the gap a little bit here. It is 19-15 here with just 3 weeks to go.
Hey, listen, I'm going to pull out the super. Hey, championship week. There's always the game. I'm going to pull off the super upset with my 5-point pick'em, and then
you might not need to. You keep picking off points. Yeah.
True. It's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time.
That's right.
At a time. All right. Hey, last week, some good news. Last week, our Inside the Number Spotlight guy won Justice Brathwaite, took care of business as can be expected. I'm gonna let you dive into what Justice did for us, and then we're gonna bring up our newest Inside the Number Spotlight member.
Before I get to that, I got to let you gloat with your victory from last week. That was Mesa defeating Highland. Highland had a lead there at halftime, and I heard Mesa's quarterback had gone down, and they rallied in the second half, got that win over Highland. And then we both had Brophy, who got taken to quite a game with Castile.
Yeah,
very high scoring game, and Castile definitely hung with them there as well. And then our Justice Brathwaite, our spotlight player last week from Higley, The BYU commit, Higley had to rally too. O'Connor led that game, but Higley wins it 26-17.
This stuff makes me nervous. It's
It's
But,
9 in a row that the spotlight player has won for us now. So it's 11-2 for the season, but 9 in a row.
They're back on track, and this week we got an amazing spotlight player that we want to show some love to. We haven't really touched on the big fellas yet, if you will, the Hogs. And this one's super special. Rex Waterman, the Hamilton offensive lineman, Nebraska commit. You know, I know you got some numbers that you're going to go into regarding the best that we can do. But one number that you may not have is that Rex Waterman has graded out the highest of the Hamilton offensive linemen pretty much overall throughout the season. So there is that, and just wanted to put that out there. Super talented kid, been watching him for years.
Is that Coach Tuck's grades? Who's grading the linemen?
I believe it's Coach Tucker.
Okay.
I would guess, because he's the offensive line coach over at Tuck's Tanks, and this is one of the leaders of Tuck's Tanks. And,
I believe it.
This might be the best, you know, just based on what we've seen the last few weeks of football. This might be the best offensive line unit in the state of Arizona. I think Chandler is definitely up there right now, and I'm not trying to sleep on Liberty, but I think right now it would be Chandler or Hamilton, and right now I'm going to take Hamilton just because they beat Chandler. So there's that. Gridiron, I'll let you go inside the numbers on the numbers that you do have regarding Nebraska commit Rex Waterman.
Yep, we got Rex Waterman, the offensive lineman at Hamilton, plays offensive tackle, offensive guard. 6'5", 295, as we mentioned, a Nebraska commit. Was offered by the Huskers back in January when he was still a junior. Nebraska head coach Matt Rule came out to the Hamilton campus to visit him shortly after that. He attended the junior day for recruits in Lincoln over the spring, and then he went on official visits to both UCLA and Nebraska over the summer, and committed to Nebraska in June shortly after that visit. He's a versatile player that can play multiple spots on the line, physical player with toughness, and has that size and skill set. Hamilton is 10-0. The offense is averaging 326 passing yards a game and 196 rushing yards a game for a total of 522 yards. Their high game for the season was against Chandler in that 55-41 win. They had 644 total yards of offense. The Huskies are averaging 54.8 points per game. This week in the open quarterfinals, the Huskies will host Mountain View, who comes in at 7-4. Got the big win last week against Centennial. That'll be 7 p.m. in Chandler, and Waterman was also a first-team All-6A Fiesta region on the O-line.
Are you nervous?
What's that?
Are you nervous?
They're streak
Hamilton versus Mountain View. Are you nervous about our streak ending?
Well, I doubted Mountain View last week, and Coach Litton singled all of us in Arizona varsity out for picking against the Toros there. So
as you can expect,
they're dangerous. Sure.
Man, I just talked to Talon earlier. So I just talked to Talon Arnett earlier. Super special wide receiver. Listen,
that's 42 career touchdowns for Talon Arnett right now.
I know. I brought that up, and you know, listen, I'm not trying to cheer for anybody, and it's definitely hard for me to cheer for Mountain View now because we just we just made Rex Waterman our spotlight player, and we're trying to keep the streak going. But boy, I tell you, like,
they're looking to Yahtzee our streak there.
Talon is such a gifted wide receiver. He's going to be a steal for any college that gets him. And you know, I did tell him, I was like, listen, you know, I hope you can get as close to 50 touchdowns as possible career. And you know, if he's going to do that, he's definitely going to need a handful of.
Yeah, he's going to need
games.
3 more games. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's he at exactly right now? 40?
42.
40? Oh, 42. Okay.
The end, he was at 42.
Okay. So, yeah, I was pretty sure that he was north of 40. I just wasn't sure if he was at 40.
And I believe that was total career touchdowns. The receiving only might be a little bit different, but that was 42 total.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a gift, and I'm very curious to see how Litton and the Toros approach this. But yeah, this is going to be a heck
I mean,
of a
I kind
game.
of get the feeling that they're going to want to try to turn it into a track meet and just try to outscore them, right?
Oh, and try to figure out if Veda can keep up and throw touchdowns with. Might be interesting. Might be
Yeah,
interesting.
I would think. I mean, I don't know that the Toros are the type of team that are going to try to slow it down. You know.
No. Leighton, he's
Yeah.
a buckle up and step on the
Right.
gas pedal type, or don't buckle up and just play just reckless abandon and it's cool. And we're gonna sling this thing all over the field. I love Leighton. I think that he's such a great coach. And I remember how much he wanted to be in the Open last year for himself and for his guys. He felt like he genuinely I kind of agreed. He genuinely felt like his team was good enough to compete versus the best last year, whether it was the Liberties or the Bashas or whoever. And he wanted those second opportunities, and unfortunately he didn't get them. And but he got them now. And I think he's literally gonna open up this playbook, and I think that we can expect listen, not just because it's last game or whatever possibly, but I think we can literally expect to see all sorts of things. And I'm super excited. Like I said, I'm thinking about going out to that game.
Yeah,
but
last year that Mountain View team was 9-1.
yeah, last year that Mountain View team was super legit. Legit.
And they didn't get the opportunity to have that 5-12 play-in game like you have, or not, it's not really a play-in game, it's a first round game. But they didn't have that opportunity to win their way into making the round of 8 for the Open. It was 9-1, and that their one loss was to Liberty, who by the way is still pretty good, and they were last year too. And the rest of it just came down to the power points from their opponents, and that was nothing that they could control. So here we are this year, and they were in that 8-9 game against Centennial, and they won their way into to getting this matchup with Hamilton.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we do got one more game that we're going to break down. I can't wait to discuss this game, and we are going to have this thing up right. I would like to say that this is a battle of the views, if you will.
42 total touchdowns for Talon Arnett. It's 1 rushing, 40 receiving, and 1 kick return this season.
He's a freaking monster. I love watching him play. I watched him play last year. Such a fun kid to watch. If you get the chance, check him out. All right. In a battle of the views, the 5A.
Not only that, it's a battle of the Jaguars.
And a battle of the Jaguars. We got Canyon View traveling to undefeated Desert View, who really put it on Mountain Point last week.
Yeah.
And Canyon View took care of business versus another CV, Campo Verde. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but the fashion of which they did it.
I don't know. I don't know that Campo Verde's given up 51 points very often.
All right, Canyon View, led by Coach Alcantar, Mijo, super amazing guy, super incredible builder of culture. Bunch of dogs over there, players to watch. Brady Scott, quarterback over there, a running back combo of Sims and Vasco. That's got to be some relation to Tyler Vasco too, who played at like Westview like a billion years ago. A pair of wide receivers, Braylon Anderson and Brandon Catalan. Defensive lineman over there, David Tiki Teeples, because we use the nicknames over here if we got him. Linebacker Reese Landis, another linebacker over there, Jackson McCarthy, is an absolute animal. And defensive back Brady Grizel, who tracks the ball as well as anybody in the state. On the flip side, undefeated, and arguably the undisputed Kings of Tucson right now, from what I'm hearing. Head coach Robert Bonillas doing a fantastic job over there. They got a quarterback over there, Ryan Vasa Vilbaso. At least that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's right.
A pair of wide receivers that can absolutely go, Anthony Rodarte and Fernando Soto. Running back athlete who I saw Zach Elvira say he's the next big thing in Tucson. Jaylee Abraham, Defensive lineman Marco Mandrano, and a trio of defensive backs that do a great job, finding out where the ball is and getting to it. Junior Garnett, Robert Madrano, and Kenny Sona. This team is loaded, is deceptively loaded. It's not a team that we talk about frequently. Do not mistake that for how good they actually are. This team can go. I saw the Morales brothers tweeting about them, and I trolled a little bit. I talked to Brittany Boyer. I saw her at the Queen Creek South Point game, and before the game started, before the Queen Creek South Point game kicked off, she literally told me that there was no way that Mountain Point was going to beat Desert View because the offensive issues over at Mountain Point, the Wildcat stuff, like that stuff just will not work versus Desert View. I did not believe her. I told her that there's too much Phoenix talent. They're going to overwhelm Desert View. And anyways, long story short, Brittany Boyer was right. She had a good analysis, a good breakdown. She did her homework, and it is what it is. Mountain Point's going to rise again at some point, I think. And Desert View, they move on in the playoffs and get this opportunity versus Canyon View. They get to host another playoff game. Gridiron, I'm going to let you break this down and go inside the numbers on this huge matchup that should be so fun for us to pick.
Yep, we got 5A quarterfinal here. Number 6, Canyon View 9-2 at Desert View 11-0, the 3 seed. Both teams called the Jaguars, so we won't call either team the Jaguars throughout the rest of this. Friday night, 7 p.m. in South Tucson. It is a mile west of the I-10 on Valencia Road. Last week, Canyon View defeated Campo Verde 51-19. It was the first time in 3 years that a team had scored 50 or more on Campo Verde. Desert View defeated Mountain Point 37-21. I was just about to pull up that box score because I was curious to see what Mountain Point did at quarterback. They played Sonny Norwood at quarterback. Interesting. Okay, so
young running back.
Yeah, the one that normally he had 13 rushing attempts. He actually threw the ball 17 times, which is a lot more than Sonny Norwood has done this season playing the quarterback position. Usually, it's been him running the ball around, like you mentioned with the Wildcat.
Yep.
Campo Verde, it is the first meeting between the two teams, Canyon View and Desert View. Canyon View is on a 5-game win streak. The head coach is Manny Alcantar in his first year there. Quarterback Brady Scott is a senior, 2,406 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. Also has 280 rush yards. Running back DJ Sims, Jr., he's a senior, 388 yards, 8 total touchdowns. Wide receiver Braylon Anderson is a junior, 46 catches for 679 yards, 12 touchdowns. Plus, he also has 2 kick return touchdowns. Wide receiver Brandon Catalan is a senior, 43 receptions for 532 yards and 6 touchdowns. On defense, linebacker Reese Landis, a senior, leads the team in tackles with 13 tackles for loss, and 2 fumble recoveries. Defensive tackle David Tiki Teeples is a junior, 10.5 sacks and 49 tackles. I did have Tiki written down. Safety Brady Grizel is a senior, 67 tackles and 6 interceptions. For Desert View, 11-0, all wins by 14 or more points. Head coach Robert Bonillas in his 14th season there. This team was 3-7 last season and 6-14 over the past 2 seasons. I looked it up earlier this week. I think this is only like their 3rd playoff trip in the last 25 years. Quarterback Ryan Vasavilbaso, the senior, 2,394 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Running back Jaylee Abraham, just a sophomore, 1,537 yards, 36 touchdowns. That breaks down by 30 rushing, 4 receiving, 1 on an interception return for a touchdown, and 1 punt return for a touchdown. He has 4 interceptions on defense, and he's also scored 6 times on 2-point conversions. Wide receiver Anthony Rodarte is just a freshman, leads the team in receiving with 48 catches for 730 yards and 10 total touchdowns. Fernando Soto, another wide receiver, is a senior, 34 receptions for 646 yards and 8 TDs. On defense, safety Junior Garnett is a senior, 83 tackles to lead the team and 4 sacks. Defensive lineman Marco Morondo is a sophomore, 25 tackles and 4 sacks. And linebacker Robert Medrano is a sophomore, 51 tackles and 3 interceptions.
Sheesh.
And a lot of young players there, as we mentioned, freshmen, sophomores, that they're going to be around for a while.
All right. I'm going to let you pick first. So take your sip of water and let's go.
The thing that jumps out to me here with Canyon View is the way that their passing game has really come along the last month of the season. We mentioned Scott has 32 touchdown passes for the season. Brady Scott, he's got 17 of those in the last 4 games. And then I also look at the other part when you got a team that's got a high-powered running back like Abraham. The best running back Canyon View faced was one of the best in 5A this year, and that was Damari Bryant. I was at that game, and they really, it's hard to say they shut him down, but they did hold him to a season low of 76 yards. And he wasn't able to go off like he did in what was a 1,500-yard season for Millennium. So I think they have the pieces to be able to try to score with them and to also hold down the run game. I'm going to take Canyon View in the upset here, 38-34.
Yeah, I like this Desert View team, and seeing some of the clips of that Mountain Point game, I'm super impressed with how they were able to almost take advantage of Mountain Point's athletic ability and use it against them.
And I did see Desert View one back when they played in town against Sunrise.
They seem to be able to frustrate Mountain View or Mountain Point a little bit, and I can appreciate that. They're the home team. Coach Alcantar is absolutely special. The way he develops culture in a place, second to none. What I do know is Coach Alcantar, a proud Sun Devil fan, so he is not going to go to Tucson and not come back with the victory. So I am also going, not that has anything to do with it, but I am going to take Canyon View in this game. I do think that they got some X factors over there that need to show up and show out when given the opportunity, when called upon. Guys like Michael Callejas, one of the wide receivers over there, and Traden Baker, a tight end wide receiver over there also. Those guys, when called upon, and Traden has, in his last 2 games, has provided, I want to say a handful of receptions for around 120 yards and a touchdown, including some big plays that really opened some things up, 27-yarder and then, a 40-yarder. So, I just think that, if those guys can step up and make the plays, and Canyon View just comes off so deep at receiver right now. They got a whole bunch of guys. I want to say they got like seven guys that have like at least like 2 touchdowns. So, I just think that that Scott's doing an amazing job distributing the ball and just finding guys and giving them the opportunity to make plays, taking advantage of, whoever's open. He's finding the open receiver, and that's always the best receiver. Shout out to Trenton Bourget who told me that. So I knew that already, but he did tell me that. So
he's thrown the ball 40 times in 2 of his last 3 games. So they're slinging it around.
And if he's got to throw it 40 more times, he'll do it. So
I'm
going to agree with you on the Canyon View game, on the Canyon View Desert View game. I hope Desert View doesn't make us pay because they're getting closer and closer to Sun Devil Stadium, and when we see them,
they would have to.
Like,
if ALA Gilbert North wins the other semifinal, they would have to come to the Valley next week. If ACP wins that game, they would get another home game. And pulling up the 5A bracket real quick. That's the other side of this bracket is ACP and ALA Gilbert North. The top half of the bracket, you have Horizon going to Marana. And another battle. So the people in Tucson are looking at that 5A bracket going, well, what happens if Marana takes on Desert View in the championship game? Would they move it to Tucson? I don't know. I haven't.
They've done that before. I feel like they've done that before.
I think they have done it before. So it's something I know they've done in baseball. So it's something to keep an eye on. Top half of that bracket, you also have, of course, Desert Edge, the undefeated Scorpions. They're going to be playing Desert Mountain, who I saw defeat Cactus last week.
Okay. Well, hey man, I like it. I love this matchup, and I love Coach Alcantar. I think that he's absolutely special. I always bring up the story from when he was at Chavez and stuff. And I
Mhm.
think that he's done a fantastic job. And I tried to tell everybody, I honestly didn't know that it was going to happen this fast, but I
Yeah,
did tell everybody that he was going to be able to build the culture over there at Canyon View and get things right. So I'm super excited for him to have this opportunity and all this
His
success.
team had
following.
never won a playoff game before this season.
Really?
Well, I think that it's kind of a short history, but I think they were 0-3 in the playoffs before this year, with all of them being road games. They usually kind of eked in there at like a 13 seed kind of thing or something like that.
Man,
Really hard game in the first round. So this year, yeah, they got to have that home playoff game, and they took advantage of it and got that win last week against Campo Verde.
Hey, I got to shout out my man eVision, who's keeping us posted on the Canyon View. Campo Verde scores,
Yep.
tagged us, showed love, and I want to show some love to eVision because I know he's out there getting some clips and things like that. Make sure that you
Yeah,
guys
he was
give him a
keeping me
follow.
updated on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the game got to a point where we didn't really need the updates anymore. But shout out to eVision for hooking them up because I always enjoy like just keeping up with the games and stuff like that when I'm doing my drive home show and whatever I can talk about them. So. Listen, there's a ton of great games out there. I know that everybody's kind of picking upset of the week, Desert Mountain over Desert Edge, just because I guess the quarterback situation over there.
What I've
there's an
heard, yeah.
injury, so yeah. Hey, nothing's a secret.
Desert Edge pretty deep though. They got new Oklahoma commit. Michael
Yeah,
Davis,
I saw that. I saw that. Mikhail Davis, he's
Junior,
and he's
yeah.
absolutely special. So.
Mhm.
Listen, they got a lot of things to work with over there. So listen, nobody's gonna feel bad for Coach MacArthur and the Desert Edge Scorpions because their quarterback unfortunately gets injured. So I think that those guys are gonna have to figure some things out. And they got. He's young. He is young, but they got a young freshman guy who I enjoyed watching on the freshman level. I know that it's a lot to say, hey, step in versus Desert Mountain and let Coach Hamilton bring the heat on you, but. I think that they'll have something figured out and they'll get creative with the game plan. Byron Brandon's one of the best running backs in the state. Super talented kid.
He's really
got a ton of athletes.
The season too.
They got a ton of dudes over there that are capable of doing some wildcat things or some trickery. Cameron Hamil. Any of these guys really. So
Cactus tried the wildcat thing. It didn't go so well.
Listen, the wildcat to occasionally get you through something, cool. To get you through a season, crazy. So right. Listen,
I think what they did is they saw the film that Notre Dame had done, where they were able to do it to run all over Desert Mountain, and they decided to try that, and it got them a touchdown their first drive. They kind of had a fluke play right before the half, where they managed to get catch Desert Mountain out of position and get a long touchdown pass right before the half to make it 14-7. But in the second half, Desert Mountain shut it down, and I think Cactus only had 2 first downs and 21 yards of offense in the second half.
Listen, I was at that Desert Mountain.
This could be a really low-scoring game, this Desert Edge, Desert Mountain game.
Listen, I was at the Notre Dame Prep Desert Mountain game where Notre Dame Prep lined up Gunnar Perry and Nate Jones in that backfield and just had them running crazy. And listen, it is insane to have, and I say this with all the respect in the world because I love the kid, Nate Jones. Nobody wants to tackle that rhinoceros when he's coming downhill.
Yeah.
Like they just don't. Like they just don't. And he had 4 touchdowns that game. Gunnar Perry, having him as the change of pace back, the linebacker that loves to thump. Like they don't want to. Defenses don't want to see that. They just don't. So like I don't know what the counter or what the equivalent for Desert Edge would be. Maybe lining up Jelani Miller in the backfield or something, but.
Their backup quarterback only threw 9 passes during the course of the season, so it's Roscott's been pretty healthy. So,
well, Coach MacArthur's got his work cut out for him. That's why he gets paid the big bucks as head coach of Desert Edge. So I'm super excited. I don't know, man, but he does it for the love.
Big bucks. I thought Kenny
He-
Dillingham was the only one in Arizona getting big bucks to coach.
And, well, no, Brent Brennan's getting big bucks to
Oh, well,
coach,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, so there's that. But Gridiron, I always appreciate you. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The Inside the Number segment, my guy Gridiron always been taking care of the community, the manual scoreboard, the manual
Get
standings
long,
here.
yeah.
And,
Down to one page.
yeah, we're conserving paper now. Well, I guess you just do the front and the back or whatever, but no,
No,
you
it-
usually do two
You
separate
only need
pieces.
one side of paper. There aren't that many
Yeah.
games.
Okay. Well, hey, the manual scoreboard is an absolute staple in the Arizona high school football community. Nobody else had. I've seen, actually, you know what? I take that back. I have seen some other states attempt to do something similar and steal what is an Arizona high school football original. But Gridiron, I'm gonna catch up with you next week where we're gonna have 2 new games and a new spotlight guy, and hopefully I say hopefully.
Hopefully someone's still alive in the playoffs to be a spotlight guy.
Oh, sheesh. We are running out of guys.
Yeah.
So I noticed that. But shoot, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, Mikhail Dave is definitely going to be a spotlight guy next year. So
Yep. He's
so
only
there's that. All right, Gridiron, I appreciate you. Hey, and listen, as much as Beetle and Cam Cox give me a hard time for it, I really am cheering for the Suns because my guy over here, Gridiron Arizona, is an absolute Suns fan. So Gridiron, I'm gonna catch up with you down the line next week. Do you know what game you're going to real quick before I let you go?
Yeah, I will be Suns with an early 16-7 lead, by the way, at Portland.
Super excited.
Looking to get win number 9, which would give them one more than the Knicks. I will be out at
jeez.
Basha, seeing the Bears against Williams Field, who got
Hey, that's gonna be a
win
big
last
one.
week up at Pinnacle. I think they rallied for that in the fourth quarter. So it's a rematch from earlier this season, but obviously Basha with a different quarterback this time around. He had a huge game for him against Perry. So we'll see what happens this week out in Chandler.
Hey, hard to beat a team twice, and we're going to find out if Coach McDonald's crew can take care of business. Shout out to Jake Rogers, who has turned Val Vista into Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. But yeah, there's that. All right, Gridiron, I'm going to catch up with you next week. Appreciate everything that you do. All right?
All right.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Not again. Yeah.
Man, Chandler Hamilton was an instant classic, and I think we're gonna have some classics this week, at least one, and we are gonna have an upset, a shocker, you know, something that absolutely I think you know, shakes up the Arizona high school football landscape. As far as the rest of the playoffs are concerned, your boy Chili, I'm gonna make my way out of here at Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Holler at your guy, anything that you need. Just Chili TV, YouTube, and TikTok. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, show your boy that love, and that way I can keep showing more love. Also, at some point, I do got to bring my guy Hode on from Devil's Digest to, you know, get some of those habanero hot takes as we get to the nitty gritty of the Sun Devil season. ASU, I think, will sweep the rest of the season and hopefully find themselves in that Big 12 championship, and then hopefully find themselves back in that CFP. I would love to see that. Other than that, your boy Chili, I am going to make my way out of here, like I said, because it is time for me to get you know, a little bit of rest. I've been playing like a lot of pickleball out here in LA. So if anybody's looking for that pickleball smoke, holler at your guy, and I'll put y'all on the menu. I'll put y'all in order. Other than that, I'm gonna get out of here, and I appreciate everybody. Forks Up forever. Y'all know the deal.
Yeah, gang, gang.